Hello and welcome to Walk the Talk. I am Shekhar Gupta in village Urlana Khurd in the heartland of Haryana's Green Revolution country, say about 120 kilometers from Delhi. I am standing in the middle of paddies under harvest, and these are not ordinary paddies. This is one of the newest, the highest yielding varieties of basmati developed in India. And don't worry, not by using any genetic mixing, but by old-fashioned plant genetics by two of India's finest plant geneticists, Professor A.K. Singh
nice meeting you,
and Professor K.V. Prabhu.
Nice meeting you too.
Of IARI Pusa.
Yes.
It's a great success story of publicly funded research in India.
That's true.
In agriculture. Where everybody is worrying about Monsanto and
that's true.
And MNCs and the rest.
Yeah. All the food crops are totally under public sector production.
Right.
So it is a great contribution from the public sector.
And between the two of you, you now account for this basmati variety, Pusa 1509, and your wheat variety HT 2967. And both are champions now. If there were gold medals in India, both varieties will.
That's true. We are very happy, Shekharji, that you have selected the topic. And for us, this is going to be the first show on agriculture of yours, as I have seen the list of the shows that have been done in the past. The tradition, India has a unique...
Dr. Swaminathan's been on it.
Okay, that's great.
He is in many ways the founder of your lab
Yes,
as well.
sure. Yeah, we are in his heritage only.
In his heritage.
Basmati is a unique gift of nature to India. And the traditional varieties of basmati rice used to be very tall in height, of our height, and they were prone to lodging. They used to take about...
Lodging means
they will fall flat when the grain formation is there.
They fall down,
flat. And then they will have, the duration it used to take about 160 days seed to seed maturity, and the yield was hardly 2 tons per hectare. And therefore, at IRI in late 60s,
IRI is Indian
Agriculture Research Institute. Under the leadership of Dr. Swaminathan in late 60s, we started a program to combine the quality of traditional basmati into high yielding background, in dwarf background. And after 20 years, the first semi-dwarf variety called Pusa Basmati 1 was released. And then in 2003, we came out with another blockbuster variety called Pusa Basmati 1121, which is currently grown on about 1 million hectare area.
In India?
In India, yeah. So in 2013, we came out with this variety called Pusa Basmati 1509.
1509.
1509.
Which is this?
That's right. And this matures in 120 days as against 170 days in traditional basmati.
So it saves you 50 days.
50 days.
Which means it also saves you 50 days of watering.
Watering, about 7 to 8 irrigation, 33% irrigation water saving is there. It produces yield which is almost 1.5 times more than 1121. Its yield is about 25 quintals per acre, which 1121 used to give about 18 quintals per acre. And the quality is super. It's better than 1121. Its length on cooking is about 22 to 25 millimeters. So it brings more volume.
Almost like semolina.
That's right.
Very semolina, yeah.
And it produces about 5 times volume of cooked rice. If you cook 1 cup of rice, you can make 5 times volume, and therefore you can serve many plates, and you can have less calorie. In fact,
less calorie. More filling and less calorie.
Here I would like to interfere a little bit in saying it became Pusa Basmati 1121 not by an effort. It happened with the intervention of changing the phenomena of what is to be called as basmati and what is not to be called as basmati. The definition of basmati had to be changed. Otherwise, this revolution would not have happened. It took us about 2.5 years to get this moved through Commerce Ministry, Departments of Agriculture, Food and Agriculture, Department of Agriculture, Research and Education, and I see...
I mean, I know what you're saying, but I think we have to explain it for...
yeah, that's true.
For our average viewer, whose idea of agriculture usually is distress, whose idea of the farmer is actually bichara, or suicide. Explain it to us numbers.
I would. See, the basmati was an export commodity.
Right.
So therefore it was an element dealt by the Ministry of Commerce under the EPIDA, the Agriculture Produce Export Development Organization. So this was being defined as basmati if it was, as Ashok said, about the traditional material it used to be. It has to have this kind of orientation of 160 days, and only those which are traditionally available as basmatis in India are to be called basmati. And if you use one of those parents, as the parent.
Because of what is called GI, is it?
Yeah, no, GI
is also
GI is a
related
subsequent
factor.
this one. But before GI comes in,
Parentage comes in.
parentage comes in.
Because in
And
India
then,
that matters.
very
no?
archaic.
शादी नहीं होती उसके बिना
You're right.
without matching horoscopes.
Yeah, it was a demand from some of the agencies which were importing basmati from India. So they wanted to keep the purity associated
That
with
one of the parents of any variety
to be-
has to be a basmati.
this traditional basmati.
Traditional
immediate
basmati.
parent.
Immediate parent.
Immediate parent.
Right.
Although scientifically there's nothing like an immediate
Parent, yes.
Right, because in pedigree breeding, which we do, the immediate parent is its progenitor plant,
Right.
which is not a cross parent. It is a different thing. So we had to make them understand the genes remain intact, whether it is coming from immediate parent, or grandparent, or great grandparent, or great 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 grandparent. It doesn't change. The gene is intact. It doesn't get contaminated by anything. It's only going to remobilize itself in combination with other genes. The positions remain the same. It remains intact. It doesn't change. So we had to impress the Ministry of Commerce that allow us to define what is to be called basmati, because we had to reduce the height, make them come to maturity earlier, so that it can fit into the wheat-rice combination. And in the Punjab, Haryana, Western Uttar Pradesh, and Uttarakhand, past Jammu Kashmir, past Himachal Pradesh, where basmati is completely feasible as a region where it can produce well, about say something like 7 to 8 million hectares area available to it. We are growing it in less than 2 million hectares, only because it is the traditional basmatis are not able to manage to adjust with the sunlight, the duration of light, and be able to produce enough yield.
In fact, I see your biggest brand ambassador, Mr. Pritam Singh.
Mr. Pritam Singh.
सत श्री अकाल जी
सत श्री अकाल जी
थोड़ा खेत है बहुत बधाई होवे आई बिलीव ਤੁਸੀਂ ਨੇ ਬਿਲਕੁਲ ਨੈਸ਼ਨਲ ਰਿਕਾਰਡ ਯੂ ਸੈਟ
ਡਾਕਟਰ ਸਾਹਿਬ ਦੀ ਬਦੌਲਤ ਤੇ IRI ਦੀ ਬਦੌਲਤ ਹੈ ਜੀ
ਹਾਂਜੀ
IRI ਨੇ ਸਾਨੂੰ ਐਡੀਆਂ ਵਧੀਆ ਵੈਰਾਈਟੀਆਂ ਦਿੱਤੀਆਂ ਕਿ ਅਸੀਂ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਵੈਰਾਈਟੀਆਂ ਹਾਂਜੀ ਹਾਂਜੀ
कितना आपको ये बासमती मिल रहा है यहाँ पे पर एकड़
बासमती जैसे 1509 की बात करें 1509 में वैसे तो मेरे एक रिलेटिव ने 29.5 क्विंटल तक निकाला है, हमने 28 क्विंटल तो हम भी निकाला है, DSR में 27 क्विंटल निकाला है।
और जो पहले था वो कितना आता था?
पहले वाले 15 क्विंटल 16 क्विंटल पैदावार आती थी, लेकिन उसमें समस्या एक और थी कि उसमें एक तो लंबे टाइम की वैरायटियाँ थी, बहुत लंबा टाइम पैदावार कम थी और फसल गिर जाती थी। इसमें हमारे को कई 1509 जो वैरायटी डॉक्टर साहब ने अभी दी, IRI ने हमें दी है 1509, मैं तो ये कहूँगा कि ये किसान के लिए एक वरदान है। वरदान किसान के लिए नहीं है, भारतीय कृषि के लिए वरदान है। उसको अगर मैं दूसरे शब्दों में कहूँ तो जैसे इसका टाइम दूसरी क्रॉप से 27-28 दिन कम है, तो अगर 27-28 दिन का अगर हम कृषि के लिए वरदान की बात कैसे करें कि सबसे कीमती चीज़ है आज पानी, तो अगर 27-28 दिन कम है तो उसमें हम 4 से 5 पानी सेविंग कर रहे हैं। 4 से 5 पानी सेविंग करने का मतलब कि हम एक एक्स्ट्रा गेहूं का पानी बचा रहे हैं, जो गेहूं की फसल में हमें टोटल पीरियड में लगते हैं।
जी हाँ।
दूसरा ये गिरती नहीं है, सबसे जो मेन चीज़ है कि गिरती नहीं।
जब व्हीट हैज टू बी वाटर्ड 5 टाइम्स, 5 बार गेहूं में
4 से 5 पानी हम लगाते हैं, तो वो हमारी ये अगर बासमती लगाते हैं एक खेत में, दूसरे में हम 1509 लगाते हैं। 1509 में हम गेहूं के लिए जो पानी यूज करना था वो हम उसके तकरीबन एक बचा
तो गेहूं का पानी फ्री हो गया,
फ्री हो गया। तो ये लंबे टाइम में किसी के लिए
रबी इरिगेशन वाटर इज
free.
फ्री। So you consider him an IRI fellow?
IRI fellow.
He's an IRI.
In 110 years of history of IRA, there are only 10 people and he's one of them.
Oh,
who are
he's
fellows.
formally a fellow at IRI.
Yeah.
Oh, I see.
Yes, with certificate, full certification.
So he should be a brand ambassador.
Yes,
so
yes,
I
yes.
believe he grows the wheat also.
Yeah.
इनके wheat की variety भी आप grow
ये
करते हैं?
2967 का जो तूड़ा है, 2967 में हमारे ज़्यादातर तकरीबन 90% एरिया में हमारे 2967 ही उगाई जा रही है।
And इसका क्या फायदा है 2967 का, जो आज तक नहीं, व्हीट की तो बहुत वैरायटीज आई है जिनमें नहीं था।
2967 का जो एडवांटेज है हमारा कि एक तो इसमें जो आज तक सबसे बड़ी समस्या आ रही है किसानों को रस्ट की, इसमें रस्ट नहीं आ रही है। येलो रस्ट जो आती थी,
रस्ट इज अ फंगल डिजीज।
हाँ जी, फंगल डिजीज। तो
व्हाइट रस्ट,
yellow rust,
yes.
brown rust, black rust.
रस्ट नहीं आ रही है, तो इसमें बहुत सी खूबियां हैं, जैसे कि पैदावार ज़्यादा दूसरों से ज़्यादा दे रही है। 29 क्विंटल 20 किलो तक तो मैंने पैदावार पर एकड़ के हिसाब से निकाला है, जबकि कोई मान नहीं सकता इस चीज़ को। तो दूसरा इसमें एक चीज़ जो देखें इसका,
सर यू मस्ट बी अ रिच मैन।
हमने इनको चैलेंज किया था कि आप करोड़पति
हो के नहीं? आर यू करोड़पति?
यस।
कितनी जमीन में खेती करते हैं?
मैं टोटल 107 एकड़ 107 एकड़ में इस बार मैं कर रहा हूँ, जिसमें 30 एकड़ हमारी खुद की लैंड है,
बाकी कॉन्ट्रैक्ट पे लिए।
हाँ, बाकी लीज रेंट पे।
लीज रेंट कितने में मिलता है?
लीज रेंट यहाँ 50 और 60 हज़ार के बीच सालाना का है।
और ये जो लीज रेंट में वृद्धि हुई है,
हैज लीज रेंट गॉन अप?
हाँ, 35,000 थी पहले 3 साल पहले, जब से 1509 किस्म आई और बासमती का रेट अच्छा किसानों को मिला, लीज की जो अमाउंट है वो बढ़ करके करीब 50,000 हो गई है।
So a farmer can earn 50,000-60,000 rupees per acre without doing anything, basically by renting it to him.
Yes, for both the crop.
But do you scientists feel under siege with this campaign against
yes, because we feel it is done by people who don't understand the science, who don't understand the purpose behind it, who don't understand our limitations which we are trying to overcome through science, which is safe. And they should understand that it is going to be eaten by my family as much as their family. It is not a technology which I can avoid. So if I am thinking of it as safe, by doing everything that is approvable for the safety analysis, through biosafety testing, through environmental safety testing, to toxicological analysis, with everything that is available on the platform of testing for safety, when it is done and then identified as safe by the scientists, it should be accepted. The farmers are accepting it. It's only people who don't understand the science of it are the ones who are projecting
and where are their fears coming from?
They are coming from quarters which are in untreated areas, like it may create some unknown mutation, it may transmit into the progeny of the person who is eating the protein. It is meaningless. See, the same protein you are eating in maize,
right,
and the same protein, right, you are eating the same protein from maize. And how does it not go into the progeny which is going to make it different? The same protein is being produced by the rice also. It's nothing different.
You are not inventing a new gene.
No, you are not inventing a gene. It is already expressing gene, identified as safe, known to be non-allergenic, known to be non-toxic, known to be causing no, say, environmental hazard of any kind. It is only that gene which is being used.
This, the chances of something happening bad, even in the classical plant breeding, for example, and there is a famous saying I would like to quote here. George Bernard Shaw, he was not very good looking, and Chitralekha was very beautiful. So he went to Bernard Shaw and said, if you marry, the child will have your brain and my beauty. And the Bernard Shaw said, think of the child who will have your brain and my beauty. So these possibilities are always there, but we have to make it sure that these things are eliminated. They don't find any way, whether it is classical plant breeding or it is transgenesis. In both cases, we take enough care to see that anything which could be harmful or potentially harmful is not deregulated.
Dr. Singh, do you also feel under siege, or do you think something is going to change now?
I think our mindset will change. It's a matter of time. I think we have to change with time.
It is in the Supreme Court now.
Do you think we are anti-science, that as a society we are afraid of science in India?
I think in general it is so. When it is not coming on you, on your health, science is not to be desirable. If it is at somebody else's cost, it is accepted. If it is on you, when it comes to, say, your own health, anything new, laser surgery is fine because it is my body.
Right.
It's somebody who is mine. Although laser can do much more damage than a transgenic can even be imagined to do.
Right.
But we are accommodating those kinds of things.
Well, most antibiotics can do more harm.
Yeah, that's true. And we are taking it on every day. The insulin and the various drugs for the sugar
why
that we are
don't
taking.
scientists speak out?
You're right. I accept that we are at, say, losing end and not being able to communicate with the people on what science can actually do.
Okay, illiterate people have taken over science debate in
My
India.
lament is, even among the scientists, we have a lobby who don't come in our field of science. They may be scientists like an engineer or some. He also has an opinion on agriculture.
Right.
Agriculture is everybody's beating boy somehow. Right. Because everybody thinks he or she knows
frankly,
agriculture.
In our science, if you look at our science, agriculture is our biggest success story.
Yes, it is.
Even more than space.
Yes, it is, really. You said it very rightly. Thank you so much for making this statement. Because it is not a rocket science, so not a space science, I mean. And therefore, it is not accepted
No, it's not as
science.
sexy as rocket science, but just look at what we have transformed in India. Look at our growth rate.
See, he was a landless person. Today,
Crorepati.
he's a crorepati.
And he's not shy of saying it because he's not even going to get raided. His income is agricultural.
ये जो डॉक्टर साहब ये आप ये देख रहे हैं, जो सिस्टम ये देख रहे हैं, तो ये एक बिल्डिंग बनता है ना, बिल्डिंग, तो उसका एक आर्किटेक्ट होता है. जो ये आप व्यू देख रहे हैं एग्रीकल्चर का, करने वाले बेशक हम हैं. एक बिल्डिंग का एक ईंट होता है जो छुपी हुई होती है, एक होती है जो कंगूरे पे लग जाती है, वो सबको दिखती है. ये बिल्डिंग सबको दिख रही है, लेकिन IRI और मेन आर्किटेक्ट ये 2 पर्सन हैं जो उसके मेन आर्किटेक्ट हैं.